5 mistakes keeping you poor. Build wealth starting today. Most people think they're bad with money. They're not. They're trapped in a system they were never taught to see. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The mistakes keeping you poor aren't about math. They're not about budgets or spreadsheets or knowing the right stocks. They're about invisible patterns, mental traps, habits so deeply wired into your daily life that they feel completely normal. And that's exactly what makes them dangerous. Today, I'm going to show you 5 of these traps, and I'm going to use a framework that changed the way I see money forever. Think of your financial life as a prison, not a prison with bars and guards, but a prison with invisible walls, walls built out of your habits, your beliefs, and your daily decisions. Most people spend their entire lives inside those walls, never realizing the door was unlocked the whole time. Let's find the door. Trap 1. The comfort spending loop. Here's where it gets dangerous. You wake up, you're stressed. Work is hard, life is exhausting, so you do what feels good. A new pair of shoes, a dinner out you didn't plan for, a subscription you forgot you signed up for, another online order that arrives in a dopamine-wrapped package at your door. It feels like relief, it feels like reward. But here's the truth, you're not spending money, you're spending your future. There's a term in psychology called emotional spending. It's the act of using purchases to regulate negative emotions, stress, boredom, loneliness, anxiety. Studies show that over 75% of Americans admit to making impulse purchases driven by emotion, not need, emotion. And this is the loop. You feel bad, you spend, you feel briefly good. The money is gone, you feel worse, you need to feel good again. So you spend again. The walls get tighter every single cycle. Think about someone earning $60,000 a year who can't figure out where the money goes. They're not buying yachts, they're buying $7 coffees, $15 lunches, weekend getaways they charge to a card, and endless small purchases that each feel completely justified in the moment. Death by 1,000 small decisions. The solution isn't to stop spending. The solution is to make spending intentional. Before any non-essential purchase, pause for 24 hours. That pause is the escape hatch. In that silence, most impulse purchases lose their power completely. Trap 2. The fake wealth illusion. This is the part nobody tells you. Looking wealthy and being wealthy are 2 entirely different things. In fact, they're often opposites. The person driving the newest model car is likely making monthly payments that quietly destroy their ability to build real assets. The person with the expensive apartment in the fashionable part of town is paying someone else's mortgage, not their own. The one wearing designer labels while carrying $8,000 in credit card debt is performing wealth, not living it. Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest humans alive, drove a 2014 Cadillac XTS for years and lived in a house he bought in 1958. Not because he couldn't afford more, because he understood something most people don't. The appearance of wealth costs you actual wealth. The psychological trap here is called social comparison theory. Humans are wired to measure themselves against others, and in the age of social media, Those comparisons happen hundreds of times a day. Every scroll is a reminder of what you don't have. Every highlight reel triggers the urge to perform. So people buy status instead of assets. An asset puts money in your pocket. Status takes money out of it. The mindset shift is simple but brutal. Stop asking, "How does this look?" and start asking, "How does this grow?" Every dollar you redirect from performance to investment is a brick removed from the wall of your financial prison. Trap 3. The one-stream trap. Here's where it gets dangerous again. You have one job, one paycheck, one stream of income, and that single stream is a single point of failure. Most people were raised to believe the path is simple. Go to school, get a good job, work hard, retire comfortably. And for a generation, that path existed. But the world shifted. Inflation runs faster than wages. Loyalty doesn't guarantee security. And one unexpected layoff, one medical bill, one economic downturn can collapse the entire structure in weeks. Think of your income like a river feeding a city. If there's only one river and it dries up, the city dies. But if there are 5 rivers, 6, you can lose 2 or 3 and still survive, still grow. The wealthy don't have one income stream. Studies show the average millionaire has 7. 7? That doesn't mean you need 7 businesses tomorrow. It means you need to start thinking beyond the paycheck. A side skill monetized online, a dividend-paying investment, even small, content that earns while you sleep, rental income, a digital product, one extra stream built slowly, deliberately, over time. The first extra stream is the hardest, the second is easier. By the third, the mindset has permanently shifted. You stop trading time for money. You start building systems that generate money. That is the fundamental difference between those who escape the prison and those who don't. Trap 4. The education avoidance trap. This one is quiet, almost invisible. But it might be the most expensive trap of them all. Most people avoid financial education not because they're lazy, but because it triggers shame. Learning about investing means confronting how little you've invested. Learning about compound interest means realizing how many years you've already lost. Learning about tax strategy means seeing how much you've overpaid. So instead of learning, they avoid. They say, "I'm not a numbers person." They say, "I'll figure it out later." They scroll past the financial content, skip the book, close the article. And every year of avoidance compounds, just like interest does, but in reverse. Here's a number that should stop you cold. If you invest $300 a month starting at age 25 with an average 8% annual return, by age 65 you have approximately $1 million. If you start at 35, you have roughly $440,000. 10 years of avoidance cost you $560,000. That's not a budget mistake. That's an education mistake. The solution is not to become a financial expert overnight. It's to commit to 1 hour a week of deliberate financial learning, one book every 2 months, one concept understood deeply every month. Compound knowledge works exactly like compound interest. Slowly at first, then faster than you can believe. The prison has no lock for the person who understands the system. Trap 5. The someday mindset. And here is the most dangerous trap of all. Someday I'll start saving. Someday when I earn more. Someday when the timing is right. Someday when things settle down. Someday is not a day of the week. And the cruel irony of the someday mindset is that it feels responsible. It feels like planning. It feels like patience. But it's not patience. It's paralysis dressed in optimism. There's a principle in behavioral economics called present bias, the human tendency to overvalue immediate comfort and undervalue future reward. Our brains are literally wired to prioritize today over tomorrow, which means waiting for the right time to start building wealth is working directly against your own biology. The right time does not arrive, it is created. Think about two people at age 30. One says, "I'll start investing seriously when I'm earning more." The other starts with $100 a month right now. By 50, the gap between them isn't just financial, it's psychological. One has 20 years of financial momentum, habit, and confidence. The other is still waiting. The smallest action today is worth more than the biggest intention tomorrow. Open the account, make the transfer, buy the first share, start the side skill, read the first chapter, do the smallest possible version of the right thing right now, because action creates clarity. Waiting creates regret. The escape. Let me bring this together. 5 traps, 5 invisible walls of the financial prison, comfort spending, the loop that drains your future to fund your feelings. Fake wealth, performing success instead of building it. The one-stream trap, depending on a single income that can disappear overnight. Education avoidance, letting shame and delay cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the someday mindset, the most seductive trap of them all. None of these are about intelligence. None of them are about opportunity. They're about awareness. And the moment you can see a trap, truly see it, it loses most of its power over you. The door of the prison has always been unlocked. It opens inward. Most people never push it because they don't know it's there. Now you do. The wealthy aren't smarter than you, they're not luckier than you. They've simply escaped traps that most people never learned to recognize. They learned to delay comfort, to build assets instead of appearances, to add income streams before they needed them, to study the system they were born inside, and to start. Not someday, not next year, but with whatever they had on the day they finally understood. That day can be today. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not filled with money, it's filled with decisions. And the next decision is yours. The wealthiest people in the world didn't find a better prison. They simply refused to stay in the one they were given.